Hello, welcome to this video for installing range bars into MetaTrader. So the first thing you need to do, of course, is to download the actual script, which you should have done, and of course you want to save that to a spot on your hard drive. You might use a download folder, you might put it on your desktop, whatever the case may be. You need to go ahead and need to copy or cut that indicator from your hard drive, and we now need to place it into your MetaTrader folder, and the place that you're going to place it is into your MetaTrader 4. Now in this case mine says FXDD MetaTrader 4. Yours might be different. It could say a different broker name, but you should know where your MetaTrader 4 that you're currently running is located, and you're going to want to put it inside of Experts, and then inside Experts there's a folder called Scripts which you could paste it into. So if you had it cut right now, you could just go ahead and paste that in, and we would be all set, okay, if we had the cut and paste going, or just move it into there. But the key is MetaTrader 4, Experts, Scripts. Now a couple other things, you need to do this while your MetaTrader is not running, or you won't have access to that script until you shut down and restart MetaTrader. Okay, so once you move it into Experts and Scripts, you'll be able to apply it to a MetaTrader chart. So what we need to do is just a couple steps. It's very fast. You're going to see how we do it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to open up a new chart. So I'm going to open up a new chart. In this case, I'm going to open up a Euro US dollar. Chart will come up here. Immediately what I want to do is always switch to a 1-minute chart. Okay, so I switch to the 1-minute chart, and now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply the range bar, the constant range bar, which is S-constant range bars. That's what you put inside your script folder. You just need to go ahead and just drag it in to your chart. Click it, hold it, drag it in, and it should come up the first time to look like this. Make sure that allow DLL imports is checked. Make sure that allow import of external experts is checked, and we should be good to go. Now that's just important. Make sure that's checked right there. The inputs depends upon the range that you want to use. So in this case, if you see 25, it's going to be a 25 pip range bar. If I want to switch that to a 5 pip range bar, I just go 5 or 6 or 4 or 10 or whatever the case may be. Now time frame, this is what you need to do to be able to identify this chart, and it's going to save this chart as a MetaTrader offline chart. And if that doesn't mean anything to you, don't worry about it, because it really doesn't matter. It's just the way that MetaTrader allows the creation of basically a custom chart. But we want to call it a different time frame than what MetaTrader makes standard, which is a 1, a 5, a 15, a 30. So a good place to start your first time would just be use a number 2. It's almost like it's simulating making a 2-minute chart, but of course we're not making a 2-minute chart, but it's easy for us then to find the chart when it comes time to using the pull down menu. So I set that to 2. This case is saying it's going to go back 10,000 bars in order to, on the 1 minute, to create the range bars. This is if you want to show gaps. Typically you can set that to true. The key here is what you don't want to have is with the range bars is to have the gaps any more than the 1 pip. So it's something you can always look for in the data. And then you can rescale if your broker happens to be a 5-digit broker, meaning 4 or 5 decimal places. It'll come up with a message that will tell you that it's a 5-digit, or if you set this to true, it'll do it automatically. So, but be careful with that on the 5-digit brokers. Most of you should be the 4. If you think you did it wrong and it comes up and it's clear it's not using 5 full pips, you can go back and just change that. All right, so at that point you go OK. Now you might think, well, nothing happened. I've got a 1-minute bar still. I applied my script. If you go under Experts, you can see it goes S, constant range bars, Euro US dollar. It wrote 2,853 records. That means 2,853 bars. But where is that chart? Well, what you need to do is you need to go to File, go to Open Offline. This is where all of these charts are going to be basically hidden or sitting. They're not really hidden. And you're going to see a whole bunch of charts that you're probably used to seeing, charts you may have pulled up in the past. And all you need to do is just scroll down to Euro US dollar in this case. And I just want to find my 2-minute chart. It's not a 2-minute chart, but we kind of gave it that naming. So M2. All right, and this is going to be, look at that, the 2854, right? That's the records that have been written. And I go open. And there is the range bar. Now this has had some weird data going on back in December. You can see this MetaTrader feed had a bit of a problem, but we'll show you what I mean in a minute. But if we can just go ahead and just bring this out, and we're going to go ahead and turn it into candles. You'll see as I scroll to the end here that every single candle is going to be 6 pips. Sorry, in this case 5 pips, right? So the high here was 23, the low was 18. Here's 24.29, that's 5. This one is 32.27. This one's 27.22. Every single one now is 5 pips. No longer is the 1 minute time interval. You now actually have range bars MetaTrader. And remember, this is always going to be on the offline chart. Let's go ahead and do another one. Let's create another chart. Let's do one for the pound. So pound US dollar, 1 minute. Apply your script. Just drag it in. Let's go and make it a 6 range. I'm going to call it a 2 minute one as well. Just call it M2. It's just, I know I say 2 minutes, but you get the idea. And then we're going to go ahead and go OK. And same thing, you see it started, and look, it just told you that it just wrote 3,152 records. You know now where that chart's hiding from us. It's under offline charts. Scroll down to GBP USD M2. There it is right there. Open it, and I would switch. It's up to you. Of course, I like to switch to candles, and then I don't need for it to be so compressed. And then of course we can just scroll to the end with our auto scroll. With the market, when I'm doing this, is not open. It's not going to jump automatically to the end. But every single one of these candles is going to be a range of 6 pips. And you can always just make sure that it did it right. And at that point, this is where we kind of ended the day here. When I'm recording this, this was Friday afternoon or Friday evening, and that was it. And when it starts in real time, though this is called an offline chart, I know it gets a little confusing. When you are real time, it will be trading just like any other chart. Okay, so here's, for instance, a 20 range. Okay, so I can scroll over here to find, remember, my M2. I know that that's my 5 range. And then here's my 6 range on the pound. And you can apply any of your indicators to the workspace here. They'll all work fine. All of the HVMM, UST indicators are all going to work fine. It's just going to be reading basically the range bar intervals rather than the time interval. And this is a fairly significant advantage in particular for day trading. The 1 and 5 minutes are not ideal for day trading. You're going to have typically much better result because we're going to be following price action much more closely than using this fixed time interval, which really isn't based upon anything to do or really nothing to do with price movement, yet that's what we're trying to trade. Alright, so that's how you do range bars. A couple things to understand. When you shut down your MetaTrader and restart, you're going to have to, typically, you'll need to look, but you may need to reapply to your 1 minute chart the script. It's always going to be in your navigator, under scripts. Okay, so navigator under scripts. It's always going to be there, S-constant range bars. Okay, and you'll need to possibly reapply it to the 1 minute, but then that's all you need to do, and then open your offline chart and you'll be good to go. You'll be back in real time. We're also going to show you a way to create an EA where theoretically you can have this continue to be applied to the chart even if you shut down. But even still, it takes literally 10 seconds to do a shutdown, reapply it to the 1 minute, and open the offline chart. So it should never really be a problem for you overall. And that should do it on this quick walkthrough. It's nice and easy. Follow the steps, go back through this, pause the video as you do it in real time. If you have any problems, of course, as always, just let us know.